Hey there, it's Pete with GCI Turf. Hope you're having a great day today. And typically I do lawn care videos and show you how to calibrate and fertilize and mow and all that kind of thing. This video is a little bit different simply because I need to go over not multiple things, but several things at one time, and I need to wash my truck. So I figured I'd kill two birds with one stone, and get both done at the same time. Story on the truck. I know a lot of you have seen it in some past few videos, and you've been asking me about it and all. It's a 2020 model Ford Lariat F350 dually, and I bought the truck in November of 2020. So it's not a brand new truck. When I bought it, it was brand new. By the way, I'm almost 50 years old, and this is the first new truck I've ever owned for myself. I bought a couple of new ones for my business, but a personal vehicle, first one I've ever owned brand new. I started saving my money, and when you hear me say be diligent with your money, obviously what I mean by that is be smart with it. And then I also mean is to save it. And no, I didn't just go pull the money out of the bank and buy this truck. I saved my money for 10 years. It took me 10 years of busting my tail, working 12, 14, 16 hours a day, and doing without other things and putting money in the bank, saving it to be able to go buy a truck like this. And again, I can't stress that enough, that it took me 10 years of saving money to be able to get something like this, and my first new truck I've ever owned. So I like taking care of it. I like going above and beyond taking care of it. So I keep it clean, non-stop. Usually wash it at least once a week during the summer. Sometimes I'll wash it 2 times a week if I got time. So that's kind of the story on the truck. We love it. We drive it on vacation, load the bed up with all the luggage and stuff, and we can pack all the kids in here and burn the road up, and it does really well. So that's kind of my story on my truck. So I'm about to pull my phone out every once in a while. I made me a little list here to go over so I don't miss anything. While we're talking about the truck and detailing and cleaning and that kind of thing, you know, lots of folks out there have a pressure washer set up, you know, with a hose reel and you know, pressure washer and a little mount and stuff like that. Well, I'm about to come out with my own version of that. Totally and completely 100% my design. I'm talking about the actual pressure washer mount. It's totally and completely unique. It's totally and completely different than anything on the market out there. And I designed it intentionally that way so that it just wouldn't look like somebody else's stuff. I ordered a bunch of hose reels the other day. I ordered a bunch of pressure washers the other day. The pressure washers have came in. I've got all my pressure washer hose, all that's in. All my fittings are in. I'm basically just waiting on the hose reels to come in. Everything else, they're on the floor, ready to go. And then once I get those in, we'll have to look at you know, different boxing options and packaging options and stuff like that. And I've actually got a guy that does that specifically. He owns a company that produces, you know, custom-made boxes, and he's coming over to the shop next week to go over that with us so that we can package it well, and so that, you know, nothing's damaged in shipping. I know that's a pet peeve of mine, is getting something and it's be damaged in shipping. I can't stand it. So anything goes out the door from us, we take the packaging extremely serious. So we go through a lot of extra steps to make sure that's right. When that's ready, I'll do a dedicated video on it showing you the whole setup. And I'm actually going to market it toward lawn care companies. That's my target. Obviously, anybody can use it. It'll work fine for detailing a car, or your truck, no problem. But the goal of that is, the purpose behind that was to get lawn care companies to start cleaning their stuff. You know, your image when you're in a customer's yard means a lot. You want to, not only provide a quality service, but you want your stuff to be clean and look presentable and all that. So we'll go over that in detail when we get to that point, but I just wanted to let you know that was coming. The stand-on mower review series is really taking shape, big time. Got off the phone today with Wright, Cub Cadet, and Hustler is who I talked to today. So there's 3 more that's on board with this. There's about, I think I got 11 on board ready to rock and roll. And I think total there's, I think there's 14 or 15 different brands that I want to get involved with this. So we're really close to getting that all set up and getting that all ready to rock and roll, and I am extremely excited about it. I can't put it into words how pumped up I am about being able to have all those different brands right here in my yard and talk to you guys about those different mowers. That is going to be a lot of fun. Previous video, you heard me talking about my wife and I maybe looking for some land. Well, we've been looking for some land and ain't nothing anywhere. I mean, it's extremely difficult to find something around my area right now. So we kind of been talking about that, and we're going to kind of shift our efforts toward the business, just because of one reason alone. We are out of space. I mean, we have absolutely zero space whatsoever. I have talked to the neighbor that owns 100 acres beside of us. I've talked to him for about 3 or 4 years now, and I've offered him a very substantial amount of money for 2 or 3 acres, and he won't budge. I mean, I get a little upset at that, because I'm like, love your neighbor, dude, but at the end of the day, it's his land. He's not obligated to sell me nothing, so I can't be too mad about that. But it would be nice to get 2 or 3 acres right there where I'm at, and I don't want to have to move my business. So it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So Tammy and I have really been looking super hard for land close to where we're, our business is right now. And we found two pretty good prospects. One is just the land itself, and it's about 12 acres, I believe. And we actually went and looked at it today, and it's absolutely ideal. If we went that route, I can't afford to buy the land and go and stick a building up on it all at the same time. So we'd have to buy the land, get it paid for quickly, which would mean 4 to 5 years, and then stick a building up. We do good, but we're not doing quite that good where I have that kind of money to do that much at one time. The other property is 8 acres, and it already has a massive warehouse on site, like 80,000 square feet, 2 acres worth of warehouse. We're going tomorrow morning to look at that. What they want, or what they're going to be asking for that, we can't afford it. The mindset is this is going to have to be a God thing. We're going to go in and we're going to offer what we can afford. It's not even on the market for sale. I just know that he's about to list it on the market. And I kind of know about what he's going to list it for sale as. And what we're going to offer is considerably lower than that. And because, not that I'm trying to lowball the guy, it's just that's all the money I got. I don't have so much money that I can spend on it. So we're going to do that and be praying over it. And, you know, if God decides he wants to open that door and let us in that place, then that's what will happen. And if God decides he don't want us in that place, it won't happen. And we'll keep on getting it. So there could be a potential move in the future for GCI turf, simply because of space issues. If we want to continue to grow, we have to have more physical space to work out of, you know, store things and, you know, hire more employees for them to park and, you know, get more customers, you know, have more fertilizer sitting around, and just all kind of stuff that's involved with that. So that's something else we have on the horizon that I want you guys to be aware of. So GCI Turf Pro, I know what I said. I know I told you that it'd be coming out soon, but it's probably gonna be later than sooner. I got so much on my plate, and that's something I take extremely serious. So I just don't want to mislead anyone in any shape, form, or fashion in that, because that's a person's livelihood. So I need to be 100% committed and 100% in it before I move forward with that. I mean, it's pretty much kind of sort of set up and ready to go. It's just have to get all the fine details finished up. So it might be a couple of months, because the Spray Buddy kind of takes precedence over all of that, and has a little more pull as far as I'm concerned for right now, because I've been waiting for 2 years to get the Spray Buddy and all going. So know that GCI Turf Pro is coming. So I think I've been on YouTube maybe 4 or 5 years, I believe now, and I have been extremely adamant, over the top adamant, about not taking money from these equipment manufacturers and showing, you know, their stuff and making somebody think, oh, well, he's getting paid to show that thing and that's the only reason he says that. Well, for a pretty good while, I have refrained from that. I've been extremely adamant not to go down that road. Well, things are changing for me a little bit, and I'm just going to give everybody a forewarning, a heads up, that yes, I have signed an agreement with a company. It's stuff I already use, stuff I've been using. And when we get to that point in time, and it's time for me to make a video on that, I will absolutely let you know that this is a sponsored video. Because the last thing I'm going to do is ever mislead anyone or lead somebody the wrong way or any of that stuff. That's just not how I roll. But I have been looking at the whole YouTube thing as more of an actual business, and so that is why I'm taking that approach. And for those of you that might be a little skeptical, that's completely fine. I'm okay with that. If you watch the video and you say, oh, he's just doing that to make money, well, that's your opinion. I'm completely okay with you having an opinion of your own. I don't care what it is. But if you want proof that You know, I'm just not about the money. Somebody made that comment the other day on a video. So I was about the almighty dollar. Well, first and foremost, there's only one almighty, and it's not a dollar. So let's make sure that's clear. You can go back and you can watch the over 900 and some videos I've already got on YouTube. And if that ain't proof enough to you, I think you might want to find another channel to watch, if I'm just being completely straightforward, straight on up with you and honest. Because if you feel like I'm misleading you, then why the heck are you wasting your time watching it? That just makes absolutely no sense to me. I'm not going to watch somebody I think it might be misleading me. So I encourage you to do the same thing. I cannot for the life of me remember the name brand of this brush. It's a microfiber mitt on the end of a pole, and the pole is soft, so if you hit your truck you won't scratch it. But I used to jump up here and wash all that by hand, and I'm gonna tell you what, that was rough until I got this thing, and now everything's different. So GCI liquids, they're still in the works. We're registered with 3 of the liquids in all the states. This has been an absolute, I'm not gonna call it a nightmare, but it's not been the easiest thing in the world. Yeah, I could call some buddies and say, hey, how you do this? And they would have told me, and it would have made it a lot easier. But I decided, Tammy and I was going to do it on our own willpower, I guess, and we were going to learn to process all by ourselves without any help, because I think that's the best way you can learn, is when you make some mistakes, you learn better and you don't make those mistakes again. So what I mean by that is there's 5 of them. It's a 2000. There's a 0020, there's a 000, which is an iron product, micronutrient product, and then you know, we had the 505 for a little while, and I have a new formulation of 505 that's going to be taking the place of that. And then we had the Cowtide for a while, and the GCI Turf Calcium will take the place of that. Well, in the process of registering all this stuff, there are a few states that are a little wonky, and they required certain things on the labels. Of course, we learned that after we had printed 1,000 labels. So I'm not going to reprint those labels. So when we release those products, there will be a few states that we cannot legally sell in until we sell off the labels that we have, you know, the jugs that we have with the labels we've already bought, and then we'll make the change on the label, and then it'll be available all over the country. So you now know when it does become available and you go to buy it, if you can't get it in your state, and it's only I think it's 2 states. I want to say it's Minnesota and gosh, what's the other one? Minnesota. It might be Virginia. Of all the states that you would think wouldn't be wonky, Virginia. I think those are the 2. Okay, what's next on the list right here? GCI liquids, new grass seed. I have quite a few new varieties coming in that are considered best of the best. And the way I'm going to test these out is, you know, I like to test things before I stick my name on them, because you know, I don't like getting something and bagging it and then put my name on it. I don't think that's the right way to do it. So I test it first. So the setup for this is over at my brother's. I've got full sun, no irrigation, full sun, no irrigation, and planting in the springtime. So, you know, you take all three of those things, that's pretty much the worst conditions you can possibly do it in. Now, I am going to set him up a makeshift irrigation system, and I'll show you how to do that, because I know some people would actually like that video and want to know how to do that. But I'm going to set that up, and we're going to water that new seed just enough to get it up and going, and let me get a couple of good mows on it and get a couple of good fertilizers on it, and then that's it. Cutting it off after that. It's all three cool season grasses: bluegrass, fescue, and ryegrass. So that'd be very, very interesting to see that play out. It's going to be about 20,000 square feet total of test area. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. And you know, I'm just kind of testing this out, see where it goes. I don't know what the end result of this is going to be, meaning, are we going to stick the stuff in a bag and sell it? I have no idea. But I have to test it myself first and see how it works and how it performs before I'm going to do anything with it. So that'll be another little video series coming up that you can watch on planting grass seed in the spring and testing out some of these, you know, best of the best varieties. And for those of you who kind of keep up with that stuff, they are A-list variety seeds. So, well, let me take it back. The majority of them are A-list variety seeds. You know, in the grass seed world, to my knowledge, that means best of the best. All right, so now spray buddy time. About, what was it? Almost 3 years ago, I told you that I have invented this little gadget, and I called it the Spray Buddy, and I filed for a patent, and all that's accurate. Filed for the patent. I think it's going on 3 years now, and if anybody's ever, it was my first patent I've ever filed for. If anybody's ever patented anything, you know that process is long and grueling. So it's not my fault that I haven't showed the thing to you yet, because I've got 5,000 of them at the shop, ready to go. They've been there ready to go. It's our wonderful government, I guess that's who's in charge of the patent process. They're just incredibly slow with that. I mean, it's like nerve-wracking slow. So we are down to the final stages of that. It is patent pending right now, which means I am legally protected to my knowledge. So won't be long, I'll be doing videos on that. And to give you kind of an idea of what it is beforehand, it's an injection system that you use it with your battery powered backpack sprayer. That's basically what it is. I'm not going to tell you any more than that until I show you the video on it. But it's basically an injection system. I've adapted it to where it will work with almost any battery powered sprayer on the market. I bet I bought 30 different backpack sprayers to make sure it worked with all of those, and it does. Works like a champ. And of course, I'll show you how to use it, and it's a pretty inexpensive thing that's going to absolutely drastically change the way you use your backpack sprayer. If you don't hear me say anything else in this video, I want you to hear me say this, because this is, let me make sure my camera's on. This is the single most important words that will come out of my mouth in this entire video about the Spray Buddy. I changed the name of it. It's no longer going to be called the Spray Buddy. I have not come up with a new name yet. I just haven't. I haven't thought that far. It's going to have to be something to do with injection or inject, GCI inject, GCI injection, something along those lines. I just haven't gotten to that point yet. But let me rephrase that. I haven't decided on a name. I've got several that are on my mind I'm thinking of, and asking some buddies, what they think about it and all that, so that the name kind of goes along with it. So I know the question now is, why did you change your name? Spray Buddy's kind of cool. Well, it is a cool name, but what has happened is in the past year, I've been working on something else, and I have designed and created from scratch a totally and completely new spray system, and that is going to be called the Spray Buddy, GCI Turf Spray Buddy. The reason for that is this new spray system I have designed and created. The name Spray Buddy just fits it so much better than the injection thing that was called Spray Buddy. So let's go back over that one more time right quick, because I don't want you confused on that, because some people won't watch this video and then they'll see the new video come out in a month from now and they'll be like, oh, that's the Spray Buddy, and when it's not going to be the Spray Buddy. We changed the name of the Spray Buddy, so it's no longer going to be called Spray Buddy. I haven't named it yet officially. I do have some names on my mind for it. This new spray system I've created will be called the Spray Buddy. So whatever we name this injection thing, GCI inject or injection or whatever, you'll see that fairly quickly, because like I said, the patent is pretty much complete on that, so I'm protected on it, and I need to get those things selling. To be honest with you, I got 5,000 of them sitting in the shop waiting to go, so you'll see that here pretty soon. The new Spray Buddy, or this spray system that is now going to be called the Spray Buddy, that's the one that's coming out January, February, March, April, May 30th. That's if my truckload of parts show up on time. Of course, that's a whole nother game. You ordering stuff from vendors and the manufacturers and stuff. Sometimes they just don't stay on track the way they tell you to, and it is what it is. So we're scheduled to get an entire truckload of parts that go to this sprayer, and I've got everything for it ready to go, ready to rock and roll, except one very crucial part that you have to have, and that's the one that's supposed to be here around the end of May. So I'm gonna have all that ready to rock and roll and ready to go when it gets here, when that truckload shows up. So Pete, you just said you changed it, and your patent is on the injection system and not on this new Spray Buddy spray system. So how in the world are you going to do that? Well, I'm not waiting another 3 years. I ain't going to tell you that now. I have sunk an absurd amount of money into this new project, this new spray system. Thousands of dollars, and I'm just not going to wait 3 years this time. So here's the game plan. There's such a thing called a provisional patent, and I think they're pretty inexpensive, like $100 or something. And the reason I'm even going to patent this second spray system is because there's nothing on the market like it. In what I've researched, I have a patent attorney that helps me in all this stuff to make sure it's legit and done correctly. And so far we haven't found anything anywhere close to it. So that leads me to a patent. So it'll be mine. Can't nobody copy it or infringe on it or anything like that, or at least that's what the patent's there for, I guess. I know some people don't pay no attention to that, but it is what it is. So we're going to file for a provisional patent. And what that is, to my knowledge, is that gives you a year of coverage, or a year of protection, I guess. And we're going to time this to where we file for the provisional patent a couple of weeks before I actually show you the thing, so that when I do show it to you, I have my protection under that provisional patent. The day after we do the provisional patent, we're already going to have it set up for the real patent, and then we're going to file that. So I've already decided to pay the extra, I think it's $2,000, I believe, the extra money to expedite the actual patent process, and they're supposed to have it done within a year. So that's my understanding of how that works. If I'm wrong, somebody can comment and tell me, but that's the way my patent attorney explained it to me. So what that means is the first year I'm protected under the provisional while they're working on the actual. And they're supposed to have the actual done in the same time frame as the provisional is. So hopefully that pans out in that way, and then I'll have me a second patent, and this thing's gonna be really cool. When you hear me say in some of the previous videos, I'm gonna change the world in lawn care, this new sprayer is what I'm talking about. So with the new Spray Buddy, remember we're changing the name. I want to drive at home so you don't forget. We're actually going to show that. I'm actually going to show that to you about a month before that May 30th time the truckload of stuff's supposed to be here, and we're going to have it set up on the website to where you can actually do a pre-order on that if you want to do that. So you'll have plenty of time to look at it and think about it and smoke it over and see if that's something that interests you. Now I'm going to tell you up front, this isn't going to be a $14.95 thing. This is going to have a little bite to it, I guess, for lack of better words, because it's using 100% commercial grade material products. One thing I have been over the top anal about with this new sprayer is every single piece of it. Every single piece except for one. There's one part that's made out of the country. But other than that, the entire thing is made in the USA by Americans. And that was a major, major, major deal to me when I started looking at all this, sourcing out the parts from different vendors and all that kind of thing. It's just, I wanted to support Americans, period. I wanted to support American business, and obviously it's going to be made, assembled right here in North Carolina. Several of the parts are actually manufactured and made right here in North Carolina. So that was super, super, super important to me, to make sure it was made in America. So for those of you that like that, you will love this, because like I said, I went kind of above and beyond to make sure that my product with the GCI turf name on it is going to support Americans, American families. That's just a big deal to me. For those of you that like the short videos, I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm a detail guy. I like to go over the details sometimes, and I just had a whole lot of things to go over, and it just made sense for me to do all that in one video and kind of knock it all out at one time. That way you kind of have a good idea of what's coming down the pipeline here in the next little bit. I don't know how long the video is until I edit it, but she's done now. So I am super excited about all these things. I can't wait to show you this pressure washer setup that I'm gonna have. That's gonna be really cool. I'm gonna get with the guys and go over it with them, and I'll film all that with my guys and show them how to use it. All right, so now all I do is go back around it, give it one more good quick rinse, blow it off real good, wipe it down with microfiber, get the water off that the Ego blower doesn't get off. Should be ready to go. Typically I don't put dressing on my tires. They're just so big. Really I only put tire dressing on if I'm going somewhere special or out to eat or something like that. I don't fool with it other than that. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch. I'll check you later.